so obnoxious. Already off the bat, broken and muted. Hey, Life Preserves, how's it going? So, what I was saying while I was muted is like, wow, when I haven't done this for a while, I feel like I forget how to do everything. And even though, hey, thanks for this 27 months, 21 months straight. Thanks, Life Preserves. Even though I know that the audio breaks all the time because the bot is broken, I don't have my little visual indicator. However, Life is Yours, something I was just working on yesterday after not touching it for like a year, is the little robot with the screen that you got me for my birthday last year. So that is at least somewhere back in the project rotation of 7 million things I'm working on, including printing all of these keycaps and then having to redesign them because they were getting stuck. Because the tolerances are hard on the 3D printer. What else was I saying? I don't even know. Things working now? Volume's okay? It's good here. Bitrate's okay. Everything seems okay. Yeah, it's been a minute. So I was much of June I was on the road, and then I have this problem, like after I travel for a while, I like forget how to do everything. I just completely lose sight. I lose track of how to like I lose all my routines. I'm a very routine person. I want to try to ease back into it. So, a couple things. One is today I just want to do a Blobz puzzle, maybe only stream for an hour. I would like to. So, Life is Yours this weekend. Blobz wants to do some insane villager kidnapping spree in Minecraft, so maybe we could stream that. Also, really trying to rope him into Factorio, which I would also be. So I set up a Factorio server where I just have like a shared server map. I didn't open the ports up yet, but so we can have a shared Factorio world as well, which might be fun. Anyway, we're just gonna do this puzzle, I think. I'm in deep in PCB land this week, which is so satisfying and which is basically the same as Factorio. Like, I probably should have put this together sooner, but I think everything I really like about Factorio is basically the same reason I find PCB design really satisfying. Just good stuff. Anyway, we have a beautiful puzzle here from Blobz. We need to pick a shader. How do we do that? I don't remember how anything works. Let's browse the shaders. These are the hot ones. So what's the theme here? A gem. We want something gem-like. We just search for gems. Jewels. That's pretty. Well, that's pretty good. It's just not going to be very good for the stream, I think. Wow, that's pretty. Wow. Can we have like just some jewels? I want piles of jewels. Treasures is what I want. Whoa, look at that. Space jewels. Look at that! Is that gonna be too much? Ooh, but it's good. Look how beautiful that is. Is that gonna be like nightmarish to have going on in the background? Probably. Okay, maybe that's a bit much. Okay, let's search for crystals. Find some nice crystals. See, those are tame, but ooh, that's nice. Let's do this one. Oh, look at that. Wow. Good one. Ah, oh, good one. Okay, I'm into this one. This one seems fitting. So I have no idea like about the presumed difficulty of this puzzle. You know what I should do though? I should use my keypad to solve this puzzle because I have actually yet to do that. Okay, I'll be right back. Let me go grab one of the keypads. You need a keypad cam. Here, wait, actually, you know what I have right here? How's this gonna work? This is gonna be ridiculous. Been doing surface mount PCB soldering, so I've had the old magnifying glass. Out. Yeah, this is the dentist view. I don't know. I feel like my I've been drinking coffee this morning. I feel like my teeth are yellow. Don't look. Ah, there. Look at this. Maybe don't look too closely. There's some defects I'm trying to work on in that like dual color 3D print. It's kind of a hard problem with these little letters. Maybe we should just always stream like this. How's that? Good. Place the glass right up to the lens. I don't know if I can. Oh yeah, got like some good Mega Mind. How's that? It's like Snapchat filters without Snapchat. I look like what's his face from Florida? Matt Gates, Butthead. I look exactly like him right now. Helio, how's it going? I look just like a Republican member of Congress from Florida. I should be at the RNC right now in beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which I don't have a bad thing to say about Milwaukee. I don't have great things to say about Milwaukee, except I had the best pancakes of my entire life in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So Milwaukee's okay by me. Pro Milwaukee. Okay, we were gonna do a puzzle. I thought. Oh right, I need a. I have one USB-C port handy. Skojo, how's it going? Nice to see everybody. Been on like kind of accidental hiatus. We're gonna test drive the one of the keypads for this stream. See how that goes. It's my first time actually using one of the keypads I've spent a million hours trying to make. So this is the current main prototype, but I've got 4 other ones underway. Okay, here we go. We have to see. This is the real test of whether or not I like the position of the backspace key and the enter key and whatnot. The thing that is missing from this, and I acknowledge it, and it's just, you know, life is hard, is I don't have the little tactile bump to know where the keys are. However, the keypad is small enough that it's pretty easy to put your fingers on and feel where the buttons are. Anyway, I don't know. We'll see. This was a very silly endeavor. RGB lights per key. I considered it. I didn't do it. It's my first attempt. I wanted to keep it manageable. It was also my first time doing surface mount components that I hand soldered and I was worried about. Look at the old magnifying glass. Went okay. Okay, so this is a Blobz puzzle and it's beautiful. It's surprising no one because Blobz makes beautiful puzzles. Actually, I should let Blobz know that I'm solving Gem right now. Blobz may be working. I could put a little nail polish. It's true. Rat Binks, how's it going? So, Skojo, I haven't like said this formally because I was very daunted, and I still am not sure that I think it's a great idea. But I have been going through and doing all of your puzzles, and there are some brutal old 4-stars on Logic Masters, or like puzzles, some that don't even have like official ratings. Well, one of them was so. What was it? I'm trying to do every Skojo puzzle, but man, some of the earlier ones, maybe there's 2 in particular. Let me look and see. I haven't logged my solutions for all of them yet, but did you really? You have a Gemstones puzzle as well? Which one was it? It's a copycat. It may have been. Anyway, it was one of these older 4-stars that hadn't been like Lost in a Cave. I was very proud to have accomplished. Like some of those are just oof. Wait, does Lost in a Cave really only have 5 solves? So I did log my solve on that one. I was very proud to have completed that, but man, that was challenging for me. Challenging puzzle. It's another one I just did. Blue Spruce I enjoyed. I didn't think it was so outrageously hard. I was surprised that it didn't have enough. There was another one. Oh, maybe it was Chaos Control. That was a cool puzzle, but boy. Yeah, anyway, some of these are really... I know, Reppings, I haven't been streaming. I was on the road, and then I get really bad at like getting back. I think I'm gonna try to do it, Skojo. I'm gonna try to 100% Skojo. We'll see how it goes. So far, I've really enjoyed it, but man, some of these puzzles have really... I'm trying to... Was it... One of them gave me a really hard time. Maybe it was Chaos Control. Anyway, they're great puzzles, but sometimes I just like look at them and feel discouraged. Where am I now? I think I just got up to... I love Starry Night. That was great. Not difficult, but I really loved it. Where? I guess I'm on page 3 now. I think I just got to... I think I did anti-radio astronomy yesterday, and I'm on lunch break right now. Lunch break is like this. Yeah, this is the puzzle I was working on this morning. So I'm making progress. Making some progress. Triple Jen, how's it going? I know, I've missed everybody too. I'm so bad about, like, I'm such a, like, unfortunately, I don't know. I'm a very, like, inertia kind of person in good ways and bad ways. Like, once I have some momentum on something, I'm very consistent on it. But if I travel for work or something and get out of the habit of streaming or whatever, like, oh boy, it's a real battle to get back in business. Okay, has this puzzle really been up for 50 minutes? Let's reset this. So the rules seem to be... Oh, were you? Hey, Blobz, how's it going? Blobz is a Minecraft professional. I feel like actually Life is Yours and I have done a disservice to the world of Sudoku by luring Blobz back into Minecraft, because I think Blobz has spent some quality time in Minecraft that could have been spent making puzzles. I think we've done it to the detriment of the whole world. Okay, so we have here, what do we have? We've got some region sum lines, which is a very, it's always interesting to see, to me, to see like the evolution of how region sum lines are described, because I feel like when they first were a thing, it took 3 sentences to explain what they are, but this seems like a very concise explanation. We've got some Ren bands, and we've got some German whispers, and that seems to be it. Doesn't seem to be anything outrageously scary here. So I'm going to start in probably not the right way, but in the way that I am unable to resist with German whispers, is just some fun colors. So we have a full set of low or high round the bend. We certainly have a 5 in the middle. That's true. I know. Blobz has like stockpiled. You're like the Sudoku version of a prepper. Blobz, there will still be Blobz puzzles in the backlog when we reach the heat death of the universe, I think. So, okay, so what do we know about anything? I guess a thing we know some things about these. I mean, these are not middly, of course. Seems like from the sums, we know a couple things about these, like this digit isn't outrageously high, and that it's not a 9, I guess, is a thing that we know, and by virtue of that we know that those aren't 4s. I don't know if that's the most useful thing to think about right this second. Looking at what else we have, so we have lots of little 3-cell runs of region sum lines. We have some 2s, so we don't have the immediate gimme of a region sum, which is a 1 cell. That's fine. We've got some Ren bands that are 5 cells, at least, so those definitely have a 5 on them, which is a little bit interesting. I mean, we already know that the 5s can't be here because of the German Whisper, but also because of this. So there's 5s on the flank, so there's going to be some kind of like flanky 5 thing happening. And so, well, maybe the place to start is the super obvious things. How does that sound? So, looking quickly at, is that the gimmiest of gimmies? I guess we have also 15s. We have a gimme over here. Gimme, gimme, gimme a man after midnight. I like a 2-cell 16 cage. I don't know why. 7s are slightly more annoying because we have a little bit of variety in there. Kind of a lot of variety for a low digit, but okay. And do these put some pressure somewhere that is interesting? This person, we knew there was never a 1 anyway. I sometimes have rule paralysis with things like this, where I don't know, since we have like 4 rule sets, none of which are like outrageously complicated. What was that? Oh, okay, great. Could you hear that sound? I don't think I've ever heard that sound. That was the sound of someone hearting something in Microsoft Teams, which I would like to complain about, but I will spare you. So, do you recognize the sound of a Teams message? I don't like Teams. Makes me, oh gosh, okay, I'm not going to rant about it. It's so irritating. Anyway, Teams. One of the groups I'm working with is using Teams, and they invited me to Teams, which I've worked for so many clients who invite me to their Slack, and I don't have to do anything. I just join their Slack and it's fine. I get invited to Teams, and it suddenly doesn't work anymore one day until I find that I have to personally, for myself, pay for Teams to have access to the team that was shared. Really stupid. As you might, some might say, it's so bad. It's outrageously bad, because not only is it bad, it would be bad if it was like, hey, you can't connect if you pay for this. It just didn't work. Like on Mac, on my phone, on my Windows machine, it did work, only because before they changed the rule, I guess I had some like security token cached that let me connect. But yes, not only is it outrageously stupid that I would be invited as a contractor to their team and I would have to pay for it, that would already make me mad. But the fact that it just errored out instead of telling me that, and it took like a ton of my time on forums until I happened to find somebody be like, oh, weird, actually I had to pay for this. Like none of the Microsoft support helped, none of the people in those threads helped. Like it was someone realizing they had to personally pay for Teams to access a team that they were invited to as a contractor. Anyway, it's garbage. It's a dumb service. I still have problems with it because somehow it's like mad about my OneDrive. It's so stupid. I haven't used any of, I mean, I've used, because I work with so many companies and organizations, I've used lots of these kinds of platforms. They all suck. But Teams, the fact that it makes me pay for it, it's impressively bad. Okay, I'm sorry, I've lost the thread once again. This is 21. I was just wondering if it was interesting in terms of like what we know. This is also 21. Yeah, this is where I get like a little bit of some kind of attention overload where I'm not quite sure what I want to pay attention to. I'm not seeing like leaping out at me other obvious. There's not a 9 in a 3-cell 11 cage. That doesn't seem very interesting. Can we figure out the polarity of this? Is that an easy thing to figure out? I mean, the interesting thing is these are of the same polarity, which sort of seems like they want to pull their respective REN bands in the kind of the same direction, which that's a little bit interesting. And this is just thinking about the digits that are available to us in these. They're relatively low, but not super low. There must be a really obvious thing that I'm one of these corners is going to be extreme because it's a set of the 4 highs or lows. So it's going to pull its Rinban to be fully extreme, which does that break? Does that break a 12, for example? Like if I tried to put a 9 in here, the lowest this could be is a 7, and that's obviously a problem. If I put a 6 in here, this could be a 4 though, and that could be a 2. But one of these would have to be a 9 if it was high. Is that, and it's always going to be, is that always going to be a problem? Or do we have some leeway? Okay, so I think these are low, I guess. Because if any of these was high, one of these would have to be a 9 if it was high, right? There's probably an easy way to see this. But then the low, because of these 3-cell Rinbans, we'd be tethered to the top. And so that the lowest this next digit could ever be is a 7, right? So one of these would have to be a 9-7, and that's going to be too big. Is that a true statement? So these are all low? I hope that's true. I would like it if that was true. And then these would be high. How do we feel about that? Hey, Black Doom, how's it going? Oh, Blobz. Oh, gosh. Also, oh, man. Okay, I'm going to rant. See, the things is that Life is Yours loves it when I go off on tech rants. I don't think anybody else does. But the, oh, boy. Just the like monthly active user thing. Like I used Google, whatever it was, G Suite for like 20 years, truly almost 20 years, because at the start it was just free for small organizations, and then they like grandfathered you into freeness or whatever. So I've been using G Suite for my domain for something truly like 20 years, and then suddenly they start to want to pay for it, like demand that you pay for it, and then they also raise the prices. And so I suddenly am scrambling to like, this service that I've been using for 20 years for free suddenly starts costing money per user. Really obnoxious. Okay, Skojo's with this. Skojo's also agrees with the deduction that G Suite is stupid, and I hate it. But the backseating, so Black Doom, my preference is to like, you're definitely welcome to just tell me where to look or throw a tomato. I try to like to solve it. The problem is I'm going to get really distracted. I'm sure there's a very smooth flowing logic here, and I'm just going to get distracted while I'm ranting and entertaining Life is Yours. So I apologize in advance for that. Something that's also kind of, so, you know, we know that we're in our like 1, 2, 3, 4 set. And we know a thing that will be interesting here, really interesting here, I think, is this will be a 6, 7, 8, 9 set, but we obviously can't have 6s here, because we can't have the double 1s, but we also can't have 6s here. So 6s are just fully forbidden from being our friends. So we do end up with a 6 in the middle lane. Sudoku in Minecraft, is that what we should do? Do I need to think more about this? Did I miss something very obvious from this? So just going on that same, hey, look at you. Look at that triple. Look at that triple right there. Thanks for the tomatoes. There's a beautiful triple that just came from removing those 6s, which is great, which is very fun. So that forces a 6 here. That's the opposite of what I want to do. I'm not using my keypad. See, I don't know how to do it. I feel like I want the keypad on the left-hand side. Is that crazy? How do people do this? Because my mouse is... Okay, anyway, that makes this a 9. Watch this. Use the keypad. 9. I did it. I used the keypad. Electron? Yeah, that's... No, you do need to remind me. Okay, Skojo keeps the keypad on the left. I'm willing to give that a shot. I'm interested in trying this. Okay, so what have we learned here? So we did get a 9 here. So that's a fun 9-6 pair. That triple was very exciting. It pulled highness out of here. Well, that's a full, like, we have a full complement of highnesses now, right? Like, our highnesses are... See, I don't know about setting colors with the keypad. Okay, I did it. Um, um, so we have our full complement of highness, and we have our full complement of lowness. So doesn't that make this a 5? Aren't we forced to be a 5 here? And then this is going to be 6 and some high digit that is not allowed in the club. One of these... Does that seem true? Hot, naked singles. I mean, oh my gosh, a keypad mouse. We could do that. That'd be absurd. I feel like I've seen those before, or something similar to that. Okay, I'm gonna be really slow and clumsy on this, and I apologize in advance because I've tried to use the keypad. Okay, so going back to the thing we were thinking about a little earlier is like one of these being a 1 is gonna pull its neighbor down to be a 3, so that the maximum in that instance, to be a maximum of 3, it'd be a 2 or a 3. So we'll be pulled down so that we'll have like a maximum of 4, which I think means this can't be a 1, right? Because if this was a 1, this could be a maximum of 3, and then this would have to be 11. So we remove the 1 from here by pressing those buttons. And then the others, I think we can get away with, unfortunately, though, right? With a 9 and a 3. The one with the 4. So one of the, okay, well, wait. One of these is definitely a 4, right? And it's definitely going to be next to a 9. So this is the 7, and this is the 9. Is that true? I'm not using my buttons. Sorry. So then we pull the 7s out of here, and in here we get a, push this button, 6, 7 pair. And then that's going to pull the 7s out of here. So we have an 8, 9 pair there. So we have all of our highnesses and the middle addressed. Okay, I'm really struggling to use the keypad because I'm just not used to it. Gray there. So then you know what I actually kind of want on the keypad right now is a control key for multi-select. Would be kind of cool to have on the keypad. Anyway, these are going to be lownesses from the 1, 2, 3, 4 family, which, so one of these is a 9, which just straight up pulls this fully up, and one of these is an 8. And so our maximum range here is something like 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So the lowest we could do is in the wings, we can't go lower than 4. And that's true for either of this. And in one of them, it's just going to straight up be 8, 7, 6, 5. Or sorry, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And then we're going to have a pair of low people. Right? Does that seem like a true statement? And we still will have our like 5s waiting in the wings. So one thing that's going to be interesting about that is that does mean that in one of these instances, we're going to end up with That almost seems hard to do. So in one of these instances, we're going to end up with a double low configuration, which will have implications on the 12, because that means the 12 is going to be made of... I feel like I'm wrong here. One of these is going to have highnesses because this is going to be a 9, right? Which means these will be a double low in one of these cases. And doesn't that mean that... How? I'm sorry, I feel like I'm missing something super obvious here. Why? Like, am I wrong about that? One of these is going to be low, right? But how's that possible? Oh, is it only possible if it's a 4? so that this can get up to 5, and this could be 3. Is that the only way to do it? Well, I guess it could be 4 with a 6 and a 2 or something. I see. So wherever the low, one of these 12s is gonna be low, I claim to you that one of these 12s has to be low. And the only way we can do that is with a, could you do it with a 3 and a 5 and a 4? Maybe you could. With a 3, 5, 4, but that would put a 4 here. So could it be a 3? I don't think it can be. I think it has to be a 4. Is that true? Does it have to be a 4 to do the thing we're talking about? If I put a 3 here and I'm trying to get to 12, I need 2 digits to sum to 9, and I have to be close to the 3. So I could do 3 plus 4 is 7, but I would need a 5 here, but the only way to get a 5 here is a 4 here. Four, 6 on the Rinban, 2 in the other. That's what I think it has to be. I think it has to be 4, 6, 5 with a 2. I guess what I'm saying is I think we can rule 4s out of here, because I think the 4 has to go with one of our 12 cages. And that it can only be either 4, 6. It would be 4, 6, 5, 2, or 4, 5, 6, 3. Well, but okay, you think so? I thought I was trying to say that I didn't think we could have the 3. Again, maybe I'm trying to prove the wrong thing. I'm trying to prove that we have to have a 3 in one of these two boxes. Sorry, I have to have a 4 in one of these two boxes, because if we put a 3 here, what do we put here? Put a number, says Blobz. Okay, I'm sorry. I think I should say that I'm specifically talking, you're right, it doesn't apply to both of them, but I'm saying specifically there's one side of this is double low. So sorry, I should have expand on this. No, this checks out, I think. Wait a minute, let me go through this one more time. Sorry, I apologize. One of these is going to be a 9, right? And one of them is not a 9. So the one that is a 9, these are all high. So 9 is going to be flanked by 2 low digits, right? And I think actually then this has to be the 4. But anyway, it means that there will be a low digit here, and then this will be 2 low digits in one of these cages. And so what can we do here? And I don't think you could on the side with the 9, I should say, which is it's where the 4 goes anyway. The 4 is obviously going to be on the 9 side, because otherwise it won't work. But so maybe I'm stating something that's like, this is like a tautological statement fundamentally, or self-evident statement, like that the side that is the 9 has to have a low digit here, and this is going to be the 4. So the 4 is going to have to go with a low digit and still work, right? So that's a 4, a 3, 5, 6, or a 4, a 2, a 6, 5. Is that? But with the problem, hey Flinty, the problem is that is only true for one of the 12s, not both of the 12s. It's only true for the 12 that is adjacent to the 9. So maybe this is, so that I think that what I was trying to say, which was ruling 4s, like, but maybe I can still rule 4s out of the corners. Okay, here's another way to put it. One of these 12 cages has to have a 4 with it. Is that the thing I'm fundamentally trying to say? Because whichever side has a 9 is going to have a 4 in its friendly its neighborly 12 cage. And so I'm trying to rule out the 4s in these non-12 cages. Am I totally off on that? I mean, maybe I missed a step in there. And I'm sure there's something easier to see. But does that, just to run through that very quickly one more time, one of these is a 9. That 9 is flanked by high digits and 5 only. So the 9 is definitely, on the rim band I mean, so the 9 is adjacent to 2 low digits. The 4 is also next to the 9. And if I don't have a 4 here, say I have a 3 here, the only way I can make 3 is with 3 and 5 and 4, but then this would also have to be a 4 because of the rim band, because I have a 3 and a 5 in that scenario to make the 12, but then this is a 4. So what I'm trying to say is I don't think there's 4s there or there. Now maybe, I don't know if anyone agrees with that. Skojo thinks he agrees with that. I mean, maybe this is like very convoluted logic and it feels like there's probably something easier to see, but it's too late. I'm fixated. Because, and the thing that becomes interesting to me on that, I should say why that is interesting to me, is as soon as, if we can pull 4 out of these, then we suddenly have to make 15 with 2 very low digits. Like if this is 2 or 3, this could be 3, I guess this could be 5. Like how do we do this? How are we going to make 15 here? So maybe what I said is a lie. Because now we have to make 15. Wait, did I just apply the 4 coming out of the 12 cage, or did I say the 4 had to be in? I thought I was saying 4 had to be in the 12 cage. Because if I put a 3 there, it doesn't work. Because the 3 would be the 5 and then a double 4. So I was taking the 4s out of the 11 and the 15, but now maybe I'm just wrong on that, because how do we do this then? Maybe everything I'm saying is absurd. Unless there's a way to do this. If we take the 4 out of here, what are we doing? Because this has to be the most, if I take a 4 out of here, oh, you're right, I'm sorry, the rim band is shaped differently. Got it. Okay, you're totally correct on that. That rim band is shaped differently. That is true. So it is still true that I think some of what I'm saying is still true, in that the 4 has to go with the 9 because it just has to, and the 9 is going to be flanked by low digits. But because this rim band is shaped differently, we can have a 3 in the 12. Is that what we're arriving at? Because we could have 3, 5, and then double 4 here and hit the 12. So it's not a requirement for this 12. So that's fine, and that's good, because I think what I was just saying breaks this. Because if we didn't have a 4 here, what are we doing? Yeah, so okay, okay. I agree. I'm off track. I have some deduction about one 12 cage in a configuration that I don't even know. But if we look at this, and this is 3, and this is a maximum of 5, then what is this? So this is a 4, right? Otherwise, how do we make 15? Oh, I'm sorry, because this isn't forced to be low. You're right. I'm sorry. This could be 3 with 5 to be 8, and then we could put a 7. I don't know why I was thinking this had to be low, but it definitely doesn't. In fact, 2 of the low digits are eaten over here. 2 doesn't work, because 2 would be a maximum of 4. 2 would be a maximum of 4. This would have to be 11, right? Or can we do 2, 4, 9? Why am I suddenly bad at addition? Why am I suddenly so bad at that? No, that'd be 6. That could work. Why am I so convinced? I guess I was convinced that this had to be low, but now I don't know why I thought that. Okay. Forgive me. I'm just off track. Is the background being bad? I blame myself for just having not done this in a long time. So let's step back a little bit, because I was just thinking about this and then Blobz had to look at it. I just realized the way these are pulled is going to have implications on these the region sublights, right? No, I like that. I like that because I was just with the thing. One of the things we've been talking about is that the 9 is going to pull one of these to the maximum, right? Like the 9 is going to force its flanking friends to be maxed out. I still feel like in my heart there's some deduction to be made here, but it's probably a useless deduction. So I'm willing to move on because I keep screwing up basic arithmetic, which is embarrassing. Okay, take a step back. So, like here, so just thinking about some of our maximums in general, just especially knowing 7 and 9 are pulled off of this line, our maximum is 19, right? Because it could be, unless I'm so bad at arithmetic today, but this triple can't have 9 and 7 in it, so our maximum is 14, 5, 19. So that's a maximum of 19, right? This one is a maximum of what's its face? This one is a maximum of 20, right? Because it could be 7, 8, and a 5. So our lowest maximum is right now is 19. This one, the maximum could be like a 7, 8 pair and a 4. So its maximum is also 19, right? Okay, right. So maximum 19. So we have maximum 19 here, maximum 19 here, and then minimum here is a 5, 6 pair, right? So 5, 6 pair would be 11 with a 1 would be 12. So we are between 12 and 19. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Easy. The 8, 12 and 19. Okay, sorry. I see tomatoes flying. I apologize. But who's our lowest friend? 14. I see. So really, our minimum is 12 here, but our maximum here is actually 13, right? Maybe that's where the tomatoes are flying. Because we have 2 digits, you know, even if this was a 1, which I guess it seems like it could be at this moment, you couldn't put more than like, you know, 5, 8 or 7, 6, whatever, to end up with 13 here. So our number is 12 or 13, right? We did a minimum 12 here and a maximum 13 here. 12, 13. Plenty. Is that true? Are you looking for weaknesses? Probing for weaknesses? So, but that is a good point. Fair. Because it's pierced by multiple rules. This is an interesting cell in that it is in this cage that is pretty constrained because of this, and it is pierced here. Okay, it's got this pink arrow through its heart, which means that this is a maximum of 6. Does that feel true? Yeah, most 6. Because if this was 4, 5, 6, if that was true, that was 4, 5, 6. That's okay. If this is 3, so that is viable. Right, in the other end of the spectrum. Between 6 and 3. Sorry, I'm getting millions of notifications. Very distracting. What's going on around here? Okay, so, right. So constraint rise, and then also, what else were we thinking about in there? I agree that that's a weak feller. I just wanted to think about the 18s for a second. Oh, Blobz, thank you. This puzzle's amazing. I feel like I have to get my brain back in tune for being able to stream Sudoku at all, which is embarrassing, but hey, you people knew what you were signing up for. So you're saying like what it would take to have a 3 here. We'd need an 11 here. This would need to be, that would be 3. That would be like 9 and 2 to have this be a 12. Oh, well, okay, so you're saying if it's a 3, then we're saying that we're talking about 12. That this is a because we couldn't hit 13 obviously. So that would be 3, and that would be 9, and that would be 2, and then Red Dude, how's it going? It's been a minute. I know I didn't stream for like 6 weeks, maybe longer, probably longer. I'm gonna pretend. Okay, so that is interesting. That little conflux is interesting. I was a little curious about, and maybe we don't really know much about it, but just wanted to briefly look at some of these other totals that we have. I mean, because that gives us some flexibility on these, right? Because we're saying 12 or 13, right? So aren't we saying that these are 1 or 2? If we're saying that our options are 12 or 13, aren't we saying 1, 2? And so that does give us something going on, right? And then here, 12 or 13 is going to be 5, 6. Is that true? Gosh, I feel like I cannot even do basic arithmetic. This is embarrassing. So these little guys were interesting. Well, okay, and that, like, what are the optionalities of a 2-digit 7? Unfortunately, there's a lot. There's like 6, 1 and 5, 2 and 3, 4, right? But ruling out the 1, 2, I don't know. Is it, should we color? Is it time to color the 1s and 2s? You know I need no excuse to color things. Glad, always excited to color things. So that becomes red. And we know this is the same as this, right? Do we know that these are friends because this is 14 and... like, whatever this is going to add to this to make 14 in both cases, right? Doesn't that make this red? So then we end up with... I've already stopped using my keypad. See, it's a very sad story. Doesn't that put... Oh no, I don't have a key for this key. Do I? It's probably mapped truly to backspace. Oh, that's an oversight on my part. And it also means that red is in this land, right? That one of these people is red. Anything else immediately we think about? Well, I guess one thing, I don't know if it's that interesting, but we've been talking about, oh, is it just 0? So I can just put a 0? Okay, that's great. I have a 0. That's good news. That's still 0, I see. Okay. So, one thing I was just thinking about is the idea of our double lowness, because we have said that the 9 is going to be flanked by 2 low digits, and that pulls red out of that. It is, well, there can never be reds here. There's never reds here, right? We can't get as low as a red. We can get down to 4 if we have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, but there's no reds here, right? So this is a proper red. Oh, see? I'm always one step behind everybody. The thing is, I'm somehow simultaneously one step ahead and behind, because often chat comes up with something and then I don't realize it, but I think I do it. You know, I think I realize it after they did. Anyway. These two are the same color, which is pink. I've decided for you all. So that was kind of interesting, though. So green is one of these people, right? Where does that put red here? So red's definitely not there, and it's not there for the reasons we just described, and it's not there for the reasons we just described. So that does put our red here, right? Hello there, Liari. I'm going to pronounce it wrong. I apologize. How's it going? Carl, how's it going? I didn't say hello. Okay, so we do have some red friends in here. Do we think that could be red? If that was red, it would have to be quite low. Like, so this is a 1 or a 2. And this could be... We don't... Okay, if this was a 4, remember this is a 9, and this is a double low thing. So if this is 4, but this one could be 6, 2, right? That's a thing that is possible. Seems possible. Yeah, 2, 4, 6 works on this with the 5 over here. So, you're not red. Red's not on the line in here. Which, well, it couldn't be. One could never be on the line. 1 or 2 could never be on the line because our minimum is 12. So I guess that's a not very useful statement. Okay, right. Green, our friend Green. Where is our friend Green? Let's talk about it. Our friend Green, this, oh, right, that's interesting. Sure. Like, because you're not a 1 or a 2 and you're not a 1 or a 2. These are too high to be a 1 or a 2. This is definitively a red. So this is definitively a green. So green lives downstairs. Does that seem like a true statement? Green is better in box 8. Wait, it's better? Can I do better than that? Let's do better than that. So, what are we doing? We talked a lot about this digit, and I just want to be honest with you. I forgot every single thing we said. I forgot everything we said about this digit. But if we maximize these two digits, we get a 4, 6. But this could be a 6, right? With that as a 5, like similar to what we talked about prior. See, Scudger's already miles ahead. Scudger's always miles ahead. Yeah, it is funny like how symmetrical this looks at a glance, but the little 3-cell Rin bands have all these wiggles in it. It wiggles in there, wiggling around. Okay, we could think about our 8 cages for a minute. We could think about... I am kind of enjoying the green pursuit, gotta say. I mean, especially in relation to this, right? Maybe not quite. No, maybe that's not good. It's actually better with the 7. Just because if green is in here, it's a 1 or a 2, which would have to add to a 5 or 6. So this would need to be the opposite. You know, it would need to be pink's buddy, which we haven't really determined yet. The partner of pink, we've not really discussed. Who can escape up here? One of these can get as low as a 9 can. Oh, that's a little bit of an interesting question. Like 9, one of the 9s is obviously in the middle. One of the 9s is flanking here. There's a question, sort of whether or not okay, well then maybe that's the whole thing to think about. Okay, sorry. Think about this for a second. We've been thinking about, like, obviously one of these is extreme, but are both of these extreme? And if not, then where do 9s go? So, like, say for example that this is the 9, and then we know that we have 9 flanking here. So we've got to put 9 in the wings somewhere. If we try to not have 9 on the wings, whichever side, it puts 9 in one of these. But how are we going to do that? There's not a 9 and an 8 cage in either case. The 9, and then, okay, let me just run through these because I feel like we talked about a lot of options for what these were, and 9 was not one of them. So 9 is not a double low, so that part's okay. I mean, as far as like the 8, if obviously the 9 is here, it's next to the 8, but the only way to have a 9 here, I guess in both cases, is with a 1-2, right? Like that's the only way we can get a 9 in one of these is with a 1-2 party. But if I want to put a 9 here, this has to be 1 or 2, but 1 and 2 are red and green and they're spoken for, right? So that can't be 9. If I try to put a 9 here, this has to be green, I guess. Is that true? I can put a 9 here if this is green only. I think. Shoot, I thought we were going to be able to rule that out. Can we not rule that out? That makes this a 1-2 pair, so this then has to be a 3. Oh shoot, I don't want green here. How do we get rid of green here? If we could roll green out of here, we would make both of these extreme Ren bands, and we would know that all 4 of these digits are low. Also, if we put 9 here, this ends up being a 3 or a 4, because it would see 1 and 2. So if I put a 9 here, this digit is 3 or 4. If I put a 9 here, oh yeah, you think? Okay, where are we? So, okay, am I just off track here? Am I barking up the wrong tree? It feels like 9s are pretty close to being constrained, but maybe they can just sneak out if there's a green here. Carl's thinking my green options in box 8 are interesting. Okay, I'm sorry everybody. I know that people are definitely seeing things that I'm just not up to yet, and I'm glad to look at them, but I want to follow this ridiculous train of thought for just a moment longer. We said this could be a 2 if this was a 6 and this was a 5, right? And this being 1 or 2 means this is 6 or 7, which is a thing that seems reasonable to all reasonable people. Oh, well, okay, sorry, this is... Okay, well, this is maybe not helpful at all. Sorry, a couple things. We didn't remove the 3, 4 here. We know this is red. We know this is red, so 3, 4 comes out, right? That is a true statement. Now, think about our minimum here. What's our actual minimum here? If it's on the 8, it's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So our actual minimum is not 6, 5, right? Our actual minimum is 6, 4. Is that true? In this realm where we have a 9 up here, so we can have a 4 on this rim band because it could be 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And then so the lowest here would be 6, 4, which should be 10. But isn't our maximum 13? So there's never a 4 here. Is that right? Oh, I'm sorry. 4, 5. You're right. It could be 4, 5. That is true. But then, okay, but either, well, that's okay. The point still stands that we couldn't have a 4 here, right? I guess maybe another way to ask what I'm asking: can this ever be a 4? Okay, I don't know that that was helpful, but maybe just realizing that I hadn't quite pared those down enough. It does mean these are a minimum of, well, if we're going for 13, I guess 11. Well, no, if there's 2, I guess it could be 10 if we're going for 12. So that's a minimum of 10. I'm so hung up on 9s, but maybe I shouldn't be. Just thinking about like trying to get a 9 in one of these neighborhoods. Like 9 is not in the 7 or 8 cage, obviously. If we tried to have 9, this is a minimum of 4, so we've already blown it. So 9 is not on, there's no 9 on these in here or here. There's no 9 in there or there, obviously. So it really comes down to, so 9's in here. And 9's in here. Is that agreeable? This is obviously not in these cages. But that's still annoying because that gets us back to the same problem. I think we said we couldn't have 9 here though, right? 9 can't be here because we said if we put 9 here, this would have to be a 1 or a 2. This would be 1 or 2, and this would need to be 1 or 2 at C. So there's not 9 here. So we place a 9 here. Is this 9? No, sorry. This could be 9, obviously. So 9 is here or here. Oh, I thought for a second we had something. That's true. Okay, that's true. 9 on the Rin band. This is an extreme Rin band. I like that. That's true. I appreciate the positivity there because that does make both of these low digits, right? These are absolutely low. And they're not red. That's funny. I mean, okay, anyway, that does mean we can think about a few things here, especially with this cell, but that does make these high 5s, basically, right? Oh yeah, we'll think about that too. But just quickly on these, there's no 4 in these, so these are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? But this obviously maxes out at 6. In fact, well, that could still be a 1. We haven't rolled that out yet. Anyway, this is not 7, 8, or 9, so this is a 5, 6, and it is pink. Do we agree with that? Pink is not up here. No, because this... Could this still be 5 or 6? I guess it could be. Sorry. We know pink is downstairs, I guess. Here or here. One of those is pink. So then the minimum here is 6. And our maximum... Our minimum here is 6 and our maximum is 13. Right? So that also knocks 8 and 9 out of here. Okay, we'll do 2 more things, and then yes, definitely let's consider that, because now we know that this being 5 or 6 means this is green, right? Doesn't this have to be green now? Because we need 1 or 2, and 1 or 2 is green. So isn't this true now? Are we in agreement on that? And then this one, this is now maximum 7. This is a maximum of 7, so this is a minimum of 5, but it is a maximum of 6. So this is also 5, 6. That could be pink, right? Okay, I'm sorry. I see the tomatoes flying. I'm missing obvious things, I'm sure. So what is over here? Right. So we have fully ruled 1s and 2s out of this. So this is definitely a 3-4 cage. Is that what we're arriving at? Because if we have a 7 that there's no 1s or 2s available to us, the only way we're going to make 7 and 2 digits is 3-4. Which is maybe interesting for the 8 cage. Because we have ruled out 3-5, but we could still be 6-2 or 7-1. But that does mean green's in here, right? Because we can't have 3-5 in here, we need a 1 or a 2. So are we saying, oops, that green is in there? That is... We haven't thought very hard about the 14 cage. Okay, sorry. I know I'm very behind here. I don't know, what are my colors? What am I doing here? I want green and white. Okay, so, I'm sorry, I see the helpful tomatoes and I'm doing a very good job of ignoring them. That is putting green on... What? Didn't we say that was impossible? Maybe I was lying. Why did I have in my mind that we couldn't have red or green on here, but now I don't know why I thought that. Now it seems silly. I mean, obviously green's on here. Oops. Green is on this line, right? A little bereft. Okay, let's look at our 8 cages. What's going on with the old 8 cage? Where? Up here. So it is a 1 or a 2. Did I say them wrong? So an 8 cage, let's just chat about 8 cages. One is that, did I say that wrong? Is green not in there? Okay, I see billions of tomatoes. Oh, there's a 7 right there. There's a 7 right there. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, how do you make 8 and 2 digits? Let's talk about it. The fun thing is you can use basically any digit up to 7, except you can't have a double 4, right? We have a 7 right here looking at that cage, so we rule out 7, 1. We also have 3 and 4 here, so we rule out the 3. If we rule out the 3, we rule out the 5, so it is a 2, 6. And green is there, so green is 2. Is that where we have arrived in our lives? That green is 2? Am I so bad at this? Okay. I'm so good at stuff like that, like ruling out a bunch of options, but not ruling out like the critical option. Okay, so are we feeling green as two? Okay, thank you. Okay, that's a slightly premature GG, I will say. We do place our pink is 5. That's exciting. Okay, and then we've got all our ones all over the place, right? So, which we pull our ones out of here. Okay, I've got to clean up all my messes. We do know 2 is here. It's going to pair with 3, 4, so we knew that. Okay, now I'm going to very slowly and clumsily do this, but I feel like we're over the hump. Although, do we actually know our totals? In terms of, did we actually decide on the 12-13 mystery? Because it sort of seems like we didn't. Because this could be 5, 6 and be a 12, or it could be 5, 7 and be a 13, right? I mean, maybe we've done it elsewhere. Wait, why did 14 cage? You got auto-modded for saying 14 cage? What? Why? Yeah, don't say cage. How dare you? Nicolas Cage it's a bad word. Okay, I'm sure we can do this now. My brain is off on its own trail. So, okay, but a couple things, right? 5 or 6 is kind of interesting here. I'm sure there's more expedient paths forward, but I'm just noticing that we did end up with a 5, 6 here. And so what are our options here? Like, I guess we didn't like the 3 here as a 3, 4, 5. Didn't that end up putting a 4 here? Am I wrong about that? On this particular line. I mean, this is obviously a maximum of 6, but what's the real minimum? Would be like 5, 4, 3. Or this was 3, 5, 4. Could you have a 5 in there? No, obviously not. Like, is it possible to have a 3 over here? No, because, right? Didn't that give us, like, if we have a 3 here, that means this is 5, 4, 3, but then this is 9, and this is also a 3. I'm sure I'm just missing silly, very silly options. Okay, so this... Well, there's no 1 here, obviously, right? Do we know where 1 is now? We kind of do, right? So, okay, I realize I'm being extremely slow, and I apologize, but just bear with me. Our maximum here is 10. So this is certainly not 1, and we already ruled 1 out of here. So red is upstairs, right? That's a thing we can agree on together. That red lives in the sky somewhere. Oh, you're telling me I should do Sudoku? No way! No chance! Sudoku. Kidding me? What do I look like? Okay, row 7, column 8. Row 7, column 8. Does it have a ton of digits staring at it? Perhaps. It does have 1, 2, 3. Oh, it has 4. Okay, there's no 4 here. And we already said it was a maximum of 6, right? Because 4, 5, 6 would be the absolute maximum because of this. So this just is a 6. Is that what we're working on here? And that means this just is 4. And that did force a 3 here. Didn't I not like that for some reason? Maybe because I wasn't thinking that was being a 6. So that makes us happy. Okay, let's just fill this out and I'll just go hide my head in shame. So that seems good. Sorry, I'm trying to use my keypad, typing very slowly. See, the removing options thing, I'm not as good at. Okay, so now what? Is this just an 8? Just because we have to place 7 and 9 and they're not here, so this is 8 and we do finally get our 9? Is that what we have arrived at in our lives today? I'm not doing any math. I refuse to. It's over. So the 7, 9, so what are we aiming for? Did I break the puzzle? Oh gosh, yes, right. Okay, of course, yes. That math, you mean. Like, yes, I believe we can. So we did ultimately arrive at 13 as our target, right? 13 is our buddy. So these two digits must sum to 12, so 6 is not going to be our friend. We know that 5 is pink anyway, so we do know we need a 5 in here. So this is a 5, 7. Okay, I'm really trying to practice using the keypad poorly. And then, so you end up as a 9? What did we say our target is? How did I forget already? We said our target is 13, so that is 4. Does this actually add to 18? It does. What a shock. What a outrageous shock. We did say red was here, right? Well, yeah, because red is 1. Red is just there. You're green, by the way. Anyway, that's not red, so this is red. I'm bad at the colors on the keypad. That is going to cram red in here, which no one cares about. Not a single person cares about that. Okay, and then this is what? 13. This is again going to be 2 digits that sum to 13, which is like 6, 7, 5, 8, or 4, 9. Probably know that. Probably know things like that. This also sums to, interestingly, also 13. Oh, we can also do some whispery type stuff, right? Because this 4 9ifies this and 8ifies this. This 8's happy, that 9's happy, so that seems good. Seems like our 6, 7 is still a deep mystery. Seems like there's, oh, we have a, what's the term? What is 7? Is that a septuple? Okay, sorry. What is this? This is a 7. This is a, yeah, I kind of want a control key on the keypad. I hadn't really considered that. Pokemon can only remember 4 moves at once. Is that true? Is that me? Am I that person that I can just so easily get distracted? Yeah, I do feel like a goldfish when I'm streaming. It is true. My attention is always divided, and messing with this keypad is making me even worse if that's possible. It's very good. It's very cool, and it's very good. Anyway, so I'm sorry you're forced to see me like stumble through, but hey, what are you gonna do? Are we just left with 7-1 in here? Is that our only? Because we can't have 5-3, we can't have 6-2, so we're just left with 7-1, and 1 is not there, so that's 1 and that's 7. Oopsie, not what I meant to do. Color. Backspace. That's funny though. So backspace. Did I break my backspace key? Sorry. No, okay, it works. It does work. The enter key, I'm very divided on, I have to say. Wait, I'm not as good as a goldfish? I'm not. Hey, you know how it goes when I stream. You have no one to blame but yourself for watching this. This doesn't have a 1 on it, so this is 3-4. And what did we say this is? We said this is 13, so that must be 4, 9, right? With a 3 here, and that puts our 9 here. And this is probably some just incredibly obvious lingering thing, like... Oh, we didn't end up... Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. We did end up with 4 on here. We were wondering if that would be a thing that would happen, and that is the thing that happened. We did end up with 4 or 5 on the rim band. With the 9, the 9 did escape after all, which was the thing that I wanted to prove a very long time ago and then failed to do so. We've said the 9 does this, which does make you green after all. So the mystery of the final green is solved. Okay, I'm really trying to do this. Okay, that's delete. That's fine. And then white, hit color. I want to remove the white. I don't know. I don't know about these key mappings. I think they do. I'm not fully convinced by them yet. Like a control key would be kind of nice because then you could just, you know, do like the multi-select really easily, because I do use control a lot. For anyone who joined after the fact, the thing I'm talking about is this goofy keypad that I've been working on, my like Sudoku pad. And it's mostly working and it's mostly okay. The big question kind of was like, what's the configuration of the backspace key? And then what do I do with sort of my free key? And I put enter because one of the main reasons I want this pad is to enter stuff in Sudoku pad. But one thing I use all the time is like control click to highlight like disconnected regions. And so I'm wondering if I want to add control to the keypad. As yet undetermined. So part of why, not that I ever do super well, but part of why I'm so clumsy right now is I'm auditioning the keypad, let's say. Even though this puzzle should basically be done because it's just straight up very obvious things. 4, 9. I feel like this is like watching your grandma like use a computer or something, and you're just gonna be like, oh, grandma, just let me do it. Grandma, just let me do it. And that's how everyone in the chat feels. Because I'm the grandma of chat. I'm chat's grandma. So. Maybe one day I should like record myself solving a puzzle. I don't know why I feel the need to do this. I don't really feel the need to do this, but like record myself solving a puzzle when not fully distracted on stream. But doesn't matter. Just to somehow validate myself in my own eyes. 7. I realize this is like the slowest fill-in of a already solved puzzle of all time, but hey, I'm gonna do. Oh, did I break the puzzle? Oh, no, that's an 11. Thought I broke the puzzle for a second. That's fair. So that's fair. I could keep it like immediately next to the keyboard and use my thumb for control. That's reasonable. Okay. So of the initial run of these, of which there are only 5, I'm thinking I would like to send 2 of them to Simon and Mark, and then send 1 to Blobz and 1 to Skojo. I'd offered 1 maybe to Helio, but 1, I don't have enough, and 2, Helio is a phone solver, which I get. Okay, I just am incapable of doing Sudoku, so we're just gonna hang out with that for a while. This should be an extremely known triple. We also ended up with, it's kind of interesting that we ended up with 2 in both places. I wasn't really expecting that. Oops. I mean, on both of these Ren bands. For some reason early on, obviously incorrectly, I had like kind of convinced myself that we weren't going to have 1s or 2s on these lines, but that's just obviously extremely not correct. The backspace key positioning also I'm not 100% convinced by. The weird thing is like when you don't, normally you get this double wide backspace key and the 0 is off to the side, which I opted not to do because I wanted the like telephone keypad layout. The other thing is I went by Sudoku pad layout, which is the opposite of numpad layout. In terms of like 1, 2, 3 versus 7, 8, 9 being on the top. So I don't know. I don't know if anyone will ever use these things, but hopefully they will enjoy them as a token of my appreciation. Okay, sorry, what are we doing? We've got a 1 and a 4, is it? And that's the 1, and that's the 4. And this is a 2, an 8, and a 3 also. So same sequence, actually. 2, 3, 8, without a 2, and 8, and 3. You are a 1, by the way. We've known that for some time. What are you? Something like a 4? Okay. Did I make a mistake, or I just need to do silly Rinban stuff? Okay, so let's do Rinban to, is that the last thing? It's just making sure the Rinban actually Rinbans. Okay. Blobz, that was a fun puzzle. Everybody in chat, I appreciate your patience. I enjoyed it. I really like that puzzle, actually. It didn't, I will say, like the logic didn't go quite the direction I was expecting it to, which is fine. It just, I was getting very hung up on kind of the interplay of these cages, which I think is a problem that I have in a puzzle with a lot of rule sets, is getting a little myopic and like really getting, when I was getting really focused on where the 9 went, which ultimately it was useful to know that the 9 was on the line. I think that was ultimately a useful deduction, but it feels like something we could have arrived at earlier, and I just maybe couldn't see it. Oh, thanks everybody. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it today with one puzzle. I'm gonna try to ease back into streaming a bit more, but I do appreciate everybody stopping by. Thank you for being patient with me as I find my footing again, and as I experiment with the Sudoku pad. I'll show you okay, everybody, I'm gonna stop solving for a while, so if people want to leave, I totally understand, but I will show you, if anybody's interested, that is a totally different project. Wow, I just made, okay, that's fine. It's not a secret project. The Sudoku pad has been really fun, and I will just tag this on at the end. I think I've not organized that project well yet, unfortunately. Oh no, where is it? It should actually be in here. Why is it not in Sudoku pad? The way, the project organization stuff in Fusion, not my favorite. Not a super big fan of that. There's the enclosure. I just don't know where this is. How did I lose it? Anyway. So this should have everything anyway, like the full assembly, and I think even all the cloned parts, although I may have messed that up. Did I? What are you mad about? That's wrong. I've done a wrong thing. Okay, bear with me for a second. I've broken everything. I don't actually remember the spacing, so I'll just guess it. So yeah, the whole premise was being interested in, I've been interested in making a keyboard for a long time, and I've been interested in the idea of macro pads and things like that. And so I was thinking that it would be fun to try to make a dedicated Sudoku pad peripheral. Didn't I just clone those? How did I just lose all of my clones? What? Oh, probably because the section analysis comes before. That's interesting. I don't think I knew that was a thing. Anyway, let me turn off the section analysis. Oh, thanks, Jan. I thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it. So just real quickly, for anybody that's vaguely interested in this, it was my first time. So I've been designing PCBs for some time. It's only relatively recently that I've started doing it correctly, fully designing a schematic, then doing the full layout. So this was, it's pretty standard in terms of how it works, in terms of a matrix of XY to read the buttons. This diode is just to make sure you don't accidentally, I think ghosting is the term people use, where if you press the wrong combination of keys when you do that matrix thing, it will look like something else is pressed. And then the way I did it, I just have these tiny little Zao microcontrollers that I really like, just soldered on the back. The new ones use the RP2040 chip from Raspberry Pi, the Raspberry Pi Foundation, so their little microcontroller. So this was fun to make. This was like my first sort of like test bed of trying to do surface mount components. Now for work, I'm doing like a much more complicated, or attempting a much more complicated attempt at like a design with more and smaller surface mount components that I'm going to try to solder by hand, which is maybe a terrible idea. But I don't know. I think it'll work. It's fun. It's an interesting challenge. And then it uses like the pretty standard Cherry MX kind of keyboard switch that keyboard switch nerds are really into the topic. I just got the ones that seemed relatively inexpensive. And then the thing that made it like kind of over the top more complicated, also did a 3D printed enclosure, which I made that hard on myself just by trying, like wanting to try to design a snap fit, which is not easy to get the tolerances right with a 3D printer just because it's a relatively inaccurate machine. But the thing that I did to like really make it hard on myself was I ultimately decided to design my own keycaps for it. And I wanted the keycaps also to have like built-in 3D printed legends. So I did model like my own keycap that you could print on a 3D printer with a flat top, and getting these tolerances correct was such a nightmare. And then also getting these details, this is like geometry, which was a fun thing to do, but it was pretty challenging, where it's like this is a piece of geometry that is kind of 3D printed separately, and I have a 3D printer that will let me do 2 colors of filament, but it was a tricky thing for me having never done that before, and it turned out okay. Like it worked pretty well to get this 2-color effect, and I'm doing like multiple colorways. But the key itself has sort of this debossed like chunk eaten out of it. So I'm not doing them as inlays like you theoretically could, like inlay them by hand, which would be horrible, but it's all printed together, which is cool. And so, and then those just kind of press fit on top of the top of the switches, which is a standard profile. And then the software is super simple. It just runs through and like maps to certain key presses and emulates a keyboard. So it was a fun project. I definitely spent way too much time on it. But I don't know, it was a way that I could learn some things and then show like a small token of gratitude to people like Simon and Mark, who've produced so much content that I've watched, and to Blobz and Skojo, who've made so many puzzles that I've done. And I'll post all the schematics and stuff if anybody's interested in trying to make one, but it was pretty fun. Oh, Skojo approves of Sudoku Pad. That's good. Oh yeah, I mean, the world is pretty wild. It's a deep rabbit hole. My problem is for years now, I've been intending to design a full keyboard of my own, and then I just go I go off the deep end of like, well, maybe I should just design my own stuff and do my own. Maybe I'll do everything my own. In terms of keycaps, I have Cherry MX Brown switches in this keyboard, which I do like. The keycaps, there's a ton you can just buy on Amazon just because it's such a common profile. The thing that's really weird with Cherry MX is that every row of your keyboard has a different key profile, which is not really intuitive. Like, in other words, the shapes of the keys are different as you go back in rows. So there's at least, in other words, 4 different shapes of keys. And often the spacebar bows out. So like all of these different key shapes, which I just ignored, frankly. I used an XDA profile, which is a different profile. There's also DSA, which I think is also pretty close to what I use. I just used a variant where I gave myself like flat key tops because then I could 3D print them more nicely. So I chose these XDAs because they were close to, and then I just modeled something that fit on them. But one route I almost went down, and unfortunately for what I wanted to do was too expensive, but you can get custom keycaps. And some of them are really cool. Like some of them you can basically you get a template and you upload your own design where you can design every key. Because I had an idea for a while that I wanted to like design every key like back in the day, I wanted to do it just to have like my own custom typography on every key. But for this project, unfortunately, they're not sold as, you know, this set that I would want them to be sold in. So it would have been outrageously expensive. But you can do this, for example, and get like a $50 keycap set if you want to go really deep and design everything yourself. But it's cool. Like it will even let you go through and like, you know, set all your individual key colors and things. So one of the things I like about this site is to see people's custom builds. I think this is the one that has a lot of custom. Let's see, this one has some kind of gallery. No, maybe I'm thinking of a different site. Anyway, there's just a million, like, you know, a life is yours less imager. Can I still do this? Can you still do this? Is that not right? The mechanical keyboards. Oh, it's just mechanical keyboards. I thought it was MKB. Can you still do this on Imager, or does this not work anymore? Okay, that still works. Anyway, you can see people doing all of their like insanely beautiful custom keyboard builds with custom keycaps and things like that. You can also buy a ton of sets that are nice already, like keycap sets that are nice colors already. So it's relatively easy to just like go to one of these sites and buy a nice set without having to custom design yourself. Look how beautiful that is. It's so I got something in the mail yesterday that I haven't even opened yet because I'm kind of on the fence about maybe I want to return it. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful that is. It's so beautiful. But I ordered this. I pre-ordered this. They have a version. I was interested in these for like their Commodore 64 version and some of the other ones, but now they have one that is based on old IBM machines. This one, which I love the colors of this. So I ordered this keyboard. I got it. It's in the box. I'm on the fence on about it, whether I really want it, but it's so pretty. But maybe I should just keep my current keyboard and get some, like just buy some new keycaps or something. Well, Flinty, if you get new keycaps, I want to know about it. I want to know. It's a thing that I've been so interested in, but I have not really taken the leap. Like, that's pretty. I would like this. Like minimal kind of RGB. Okay, I will stop boring everyone with keyboard talk. Well, I know that, well, it's more expensive for a keyboard if you're a normal, sane person, but many of these people have $300 keyboards. What kind of keyboard do you have? Oh, because was it squishy? Was it like, Life is Yours is an insane person and doesn't like mechanical switches. And I think that Logitech is one that is like that. Mine was not outrageously expensive. It was from a few years ago. I like Cherry MX Browns for programming, like, you know, for typing. I feel like I can be pretty snappy on it. This is very pretty. That's very pretty. It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, why is that so pretty? I want that color, kind of beige gray. Man, I can't look at stuff like this. I just designed a keypad. I don't need to buy a keypad. Sure's pretty though. Corsair. This is like a cooler Master something. Master Keys Pro S. I really don't have many complaints about this keyboard, honestly. It has served me pretty well. Oh, well, people go deep on those. Are you talking about like the old Microsoft ergonomic keyboard? What was that called? Microsoft Natural? Like this kind of thing? Oh, what does Skojo have? Rote? Oh, that's your keypad? Okay. My keypad is better looking than this. Come on. Oh, but it's also $13. My keypads are like, who knows how much with sweat equity. So, Flinty, lots of people still do this, but like in way more intense ways now. I mean, you maybe have seen this, but like custom builds of like split keyboards now are so intense. Like people get so people go deep. There's really like crazy custom, yeah, like these that look like borderline steampunk with their little OLED displays in them. That's not outrageously expensive for these. These are crazy though, where like you don't even get like function keys and things. You have to do everything as like combination keyboard shortcuts. Anyway, okay, I will stop the stream. We've lost everyone's attention. Skojo and Plenty are still paying attention to the keyboard talk, but I will try to stream some more puzzles this week. I also do want to work on a little friend who has been broken for so long. The little Life is Yours was so kind to get me this screen for my birthday, so we got to work on a couple years ago. So we got to work on this, getting the little bot back to life. Bot resuscitation. Look how cute these are. Cool. I would still like to be able to type on other keyboards that exist in the world, though. Like all these people that have like hyper custom setups that you could never use anybody else's keyboard ever again. Oh, thanks, Gojo. I really appreciate everybody stopping by. I always like psych myself out about streaming when I haven't done it for a while because it feels like a big impending thing I have to do if I haven't done it for 6 weeks. But you'd be better just about doing it. So yeah, thanks for everybody for stopping by. Thanks to Blobz for the great puzzle. Thanks for everybody's patience and support as usual. Speaking of Blobz, I don't know if you all know this, in addition to being a expert Sudoku setter, he's also a Minecraft expert, and we have on my Discord have a shared Minecraft server, so if you want to see the feats that Blobz has been achieving. Oh, Life is Yours. You're my most, you and Draklin are the most long-time consistent viewers. You're the champions of the channel. Okay, we'll close out on some of Blobz's amazing creations here. A recent creation is a beautiful bridge. Got this like nice little village underway here. And Blobz is planning to kidnap some villagers. Blobz built a pirate ship, which is very nice. I'm not showing anything, am I? Sorry. Here we go. Yeah, sorry. I'm very good at doing that. No, that was a tease. See, it's a patrons only thing. It's where I am here and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. This is for Discord members only. You can only see Blobz's pirate ship. You can only see all of my ridiculous shader photos, which are cool. I had never really gotten into Minecraft shaders. Let me find some of those. This is, look at how pretty that is. These beautiful shaders. Beautiful. This is Blobz's dock. Blobz's little homestead in the rain. It's a birthday cake I made for Blobz. So, okay. Anyway, thanks everybody. I really appreciate it. You're all the best. Consistently the like kindest, most patient community. I can't even believe it. And I will see you very soon. Hopefully in the next couple days. Okay, bye.